Right, let's get into picking our team then ahead of the FA Cup Final with Chelsea. Allison, between the sticks. Doyley, you can select the defence.
I thought you were going to say that ahead of the FA Cup Final with the Emirates or something like that, like they're the sponsors of it.
No.
Yeah, very on brand, guy. Very on brand.
Liverpool were preparing at the AXA training centre ahead of the game, though. So.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Playing in the what are the kids sponsored by? I don't know. I can't remember. We've lost Mark. That's a shame. Yeah, right. The defence. The defence. I think obviously Andy Robertson was rested on Tuesday, which anybody's watched the last couple of games, not an entire massive surprise that one. I think he'll obviously come back in. Trent will play. Virgil van Dijk will play, and then you're left with a decision between Kanate and Matip. And I wrote a piece, I think it was the Blood Red last week, actually, saying it will be interesting to see what Klopp does because over the next couple of weeks, because Matip's played nearly all of the Premier League games. Kanate has played all of the FA Cup games, and he's been playing most of the Champions League knockout games. So Matip hasn't kicked the ball in the FA Cup. So for me, it would be unfair, and it'd be right actually that Kanate should play because he had a decent game when he came on in the League Cup final against Chelsea.
Okay, fair enough. Mark, you dropped off there, but you're back. What's your back four for the game?
I mean, I'll just caught the back end of what Dolly was saying there. I mean, personally, I would have gone with Matip for this game. I mean, I certainly get the view of, Kanate's played in the FA Cup throughout this competition. I think, to be honest, I don't think there's really a wrong answer in this. I think if you went with Matip, everyone would go, yeah, okay, sound. And then the Kanate, with the way he's impressed in his debut season at Anfield, I think everyone would do the exact same thing. I just think there's just the hesitancy of, it's the big final, and who would you rather have for the biggest of games? It would be Matip, but if Kanate started alongside Van Dijk, I wouldn't have a problem with it. So yeah, I'll go with Matip, but if it's Kanate, then yeah, no problem.
How much, Gorsty, in that sense, then, is this going to be maybe a rehearsal, a foreplan for the Champions League final selection? Which side of the fence are you sitting?
I mean, I suppose it's just about picking your best team, isn't it? It's always the saying, isn't it? If you were playing in a FA Cup final or a Champions League final tomorrow, would it be a Liverpool team? Now, they're not going to have Fabinho, but for me, Matip is ahead of Kanate in the defensive pecking order. Not by much, admittedly, but it'd be interesting to see the amount of clean sheets Liverpool keep when Matip and Van Dijk are the centre-backs as opposed to Kanate and Van Dijk. So it's going to be Matip. Robertson comes back in. I think he'll be fully rested after a pretty hectic few weeks. So yeah, that's my back five. And then jump me midfield while I'm here, but yeah, I mean it's similar to it is the one I said earlier on. Actually, Henderson as the defensive midfielder, Thiago and Keita. Had Fabinho been fit, it would have been a little bit more difficult to weigh up the merits of Keita and Henderson. I thought Henderson was very good when he came on the other night, actually, at Villa Park. So I'm not as overly concerned as I probably should be, given there's no Fabinho, but Henderson at the base of it, and Thiago and Keita.
Any disagreement with that, or is that the midfield we think?
I mean, I think, well, for a start, no disagreement. I think that'll be the midfield. But a couple of things. One, big game for Thiago. Don't forget he got injured in the warm-up the last time. So he'll be pretty desperate to make an impression, even though he did play against City in the semi-final and played very well at Wembley. It's different playing a semi-final to a final at Wembley, obviously, because I've done it loads of times myself. I think it's 5 subs, isn't it, in the FA Cup? And I think this will play a massive part because I wouldn't be surprised it went to extra time like the League Cup final did. And then you're looking at the likes of James Milner coming in doing a job. I think Harvey Elliott came on, didn't he, in the League Cup final and played for the last 40 minutes or something like that. And Keita had been thrown in literally with about 5 minutes before the game started. So I think at least, unless somebody gets injured in the warm-up again, Liverpool will be better prepared for this one. Because if you remember that game, for the first 10, 15 minutes, they were all over the place. And Chelsea, if it wasn't for Keller, would have got at least one goal and should have scored with themselves when they can't remember who put it. Why was it Pulisic? Can't remember. I know he stayed from Pulisic. It must have been Mount actually. I think Mount put it wide. But yeah, I think that has to be the midfield, but it absolutely will not be the midfield by the end of the game. And I think the ones who come off the bench, whether it's Elliott Jones or Milner, they'll have a big part to play. Whether that's looking after the result that Liverpool have got or helping them get back into the game.
What about Ox, serial FA Cup winner? He didn't get mentioned before, actually, but he's won plenty of FA Cups.
He hasn't been on the bench for quite some time, apart from European games.
No.
So it would be a bit of a surprise if he came in. Although, of course, there is an extra space with Fabinho being unfit, so it will be again. That in itself is a story. Who's on the bench?
Yeah, Mark. What about the forward line then? What are we thinking?
To say, it's a bit of a tricky one. I think that's testament to someone like Luis Diaz, who's just come in, just been an absolute phenomenon since he's come in. I think he has got to start for me personally. But then that leaves the question of what do you do with the centre forward role. I think obviously Mo Salah starts, no question, on the right, but then through the middle, I think is it going to be Sadio Mane, Diogo Jota, and I think probably Firmino's probably not going to be starting. If it might be on the bench, but I don't think he'll start. So it's either Mane or Jota, and Jota, I think his form has gone down a little bit, not much, but a little bit, certainly in terms of the goal scoring in the last month or so. But so I think it's got to be Mane through the middle for me. So it'd be Diaz, Mane, and Salah.
It does feel that is the front three. Doyle, I know you spoke about it, I think, before being out in Portugal, before the Benfica game, about Diogo Jota. If he's not scoring goals, he doesn't look great on the eye, but he's been scoring goals. In fact, he's not.
I thought he had a good game against Aston Villa. I thought it was the best game he's had in ages, actually. I thought he did really well, certainly second half. It wasn't just him. Most of the team played better second half, but he kept the ball better. He what, sorry?
He was going out to the left as well, though, not in that.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. That's his best position, isn't it? Through the middle / going off to the left, or starting on the left and ended up in the middle. That's where he gets a lot of his goals. Obviously, doesn't get many goals out of the left. That'd be some goals to get scored from there. But yeah, you see what I'm saying there. But he did well. But I don't think he's done enough in sense of actually getting ahead of Diaz, Mane, and Salah, because they'll start this one. And again, with the 5 subs, this could be a game where a little later on, Firmino could come on and do something, because he'll be fresher than every other player on that pitch by that point, because he's not played that much this season, and he's somebody who knows how to play these big occasions.
Or off the bench, Gorst. It's the Divock Origi moment was still the last one we're waiting for.
It could very well be, yeah. But Firmino's back now, isn't he? I'd imagine he might get a nudge before Divock, but yeah, if Liverpool are absolutely desperate for a goal, and there are worse places to turn than Origi, but for me, it's going to be Luis Diaz off the left, Sadio Mane down the middle, and Mohamed Salah on the right. Diaz for me is just top class. Every time I watch him, he's just got so much to his game, but works his socks off as well. And he was Liverpool's man of the match against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup final. And obviously with Salah, we can settle the game at any moment. And Mane is probably in the form over the last 2 months, in the form of his Liverpool career since 2019. So I think that as a front three is good enough to do the business.
Right, prediction time then. Gary's jumped in early. 2-1 in normal time. Mark, you can go first. What's the score going to be?
I'll echo that. That was I thought about the score prediction before the game, and I was trying to think, but 2-1's the one that jumped out of my mind. I don't think it'll be quite as dull as the Carabao Cup final in terms of the scoreline. So yeah, I'll go 2-1.
Gorsty?
I like the sound of that. Means we avoid extra time and penalties, and
we get home earlier. Yeah,
sticking one past Mendy to make it 27-28. I just got a feeling it's going to be decided late on. Liverpool on penalties again after a 1-1 draw.
Right, okay. And Doyley, what about yourself?
4-3 is not what the score will be. Because I tell you what, if it finishes 4-3 now, I'll be very annoyed. 1-1, and it will go to penalties, yeah. And Jorginho's going to try and do one of his clever ones, and he'll fall over, and you'll hear this voice from the press box, and it'll just be me laughing my head off, going, "Ha, he's done it again," and that'll win Liverpool the FA Cup. And yeah, I'll give you
your laugh, or
yeah, my laugh, yeah. And I'll be on the pitch, not celebrating with Liverpool, but just like going up to Jorginho and saying, "How many times, mate? Come on, you just got to stop doing it now. Just stop it." Of course, we'll replay this next week, and after he scored the winning penalty, you'll be like, "Oh, you look an idiot." But That's life, isn't it? That's the chance we take. If we don't say anything interesting, who would listen to this podcast?
Who says we say anything interesting?
Well, that's it. Who says anyone's listening?
Exactly right. Anyway, that's all we've time for on this edition of Blood Red. Of course, make sure you're across the Liverpool Echo website. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed as Gorsty and Doyley will be there at Wembley with all the coverage that you need, as well as Theo Squires running around trying to find what celebrities at Wembley he can. But for myself, Guy Clark, Mark Wakefield, Paul Gorst, and Ian Doyle, thanks for your time and your company. Bye for now.